everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. And yes, it is that time of the year when we can finally announce, well, not officially, but we can announce some of the league winners. Well, I suppose the official announcement will only be made next week at the award ceremony at Western Province when they hand out the trophies. And to find out more about that, we'll talk to Mr. H in a second. Otherwise, welcome along. And remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Coming up in the show tonight, we will take a look at the logs. We will also be taking a look at what's happening in women's rugby. We'll speak about the emerging Western Province team, and we'll touch on some of the Currie Cup results and fixtures. Not to mention the fact that the Springboks played. But on the panel with me this evening, of course, as usual, my usual panel is back. Morgan Newman, how are you, Morgs?
How's it, Japes? Good to be back on the show, and the sun is shining, so yeah, things are happening. It's the month of October now, so lots happening.
And of course, no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, although we're beginning to wonder if he's still around in Western Province, been doing a little bit of travelling. Jerome Parwater. Hello, Jerome.
Hello, JP. Good to be back after a while. It's good to be back and good to see all the old faces again.
Speaking about old faces, Mr. H, come here.
I'm fine, JP.
Sorry, but Jerome, he set me up for that. You know, normally he would say, you know, so much young talent coming through. Then I would go to you and I'd go, young talent coming through.
No, I saw that coming.
You saw that coming.
Yeah.
Well, that's
But
good.
yeah,
I mean,
everything was fine.
No, at least we're not then too concerned about your vision. But let's go straight to the results now. Of course, everybody wanting to know who won the leagues, and we can get into some of the other action in West Province Rugby in a second or so. But let's take a look at who won the leagues. Starting off with Super League A. Yes, and we did mention this last week, but yeah, Marty's, it is a first prize for them, while in Super League B, False Bay, good win for them in Super League B, not without its challenges. Premier League A, Silurians. Premier League B, Milnerton. Division 1, Violets on top there, coming out champs, well deserved it. And Masiphumelele in Division 2. While in Division 3, Stam Pioneers pulled away last week after beating Whistling Wheels and have now secured their position. So Tariq van der Ross out in the Strand area will be very happy. And then in Division 4, Khayelitsha and Paarl region. Lower Paarl, congratulations to them. And the Simonsburg region, the Farm League, Lamotte. Gentlemen, if we take a look at some of those results, and let's just start off with Super League A. I think that would be the obvious start. It was a bit of a tough challenge. Jerome, as ek met jou gesels hieroor. Ons gesê in die begin gesê dat dit gaan 'n reis wees tussen Maties en Hemmies.
Ja, tussen Maties en Hemmies en Durbel het ook goed gedoen.
Of course, ja.
So dit was goed tussen daai drie spanne. Ek dink die kompetisie was taaf. Durbel se wiele het in die einde 'n bietjie afgeval, maar ek dink Hemmies het gewys met die diepte wat hulle het dat hulle is nog altyd 'n krag in WP rugby.
Did you expect that UCT will come out higher than Durbel on the logs?
No, that's one of the surprises, and I must say the second half for UCT was quite good, and I know that Ayani Samangi was involved there, and I mean he's done well to get the guys up there, and it's really with a young team. They've done well, so it's good preparation for them for Varsity Cup. So I think they're also on track.
I mean, they really didn't have a great start to the first part of the season. Let's look at Super League B. False Bay comes out on top. I mean, they really came out guns blazing, so to speak. I mean, they came out guns blazing even before the season started. Morgs, you guys played against False Bay in that pre-season warm-up at Hamilton's, and that obviously was a sign of things to come. I mean, they beat Hamilton's at home. Well, False Bay was playing at home, but it was clearly a sign of things to come for how False Bay were going to play through the league.
Yeah, look, I mean, when they started with a bang, you know, everybody thought it's sort of the massive hype, you know, always pre-season when they're playing teams in Super League A and you in Super League B, it's always a tough game, you know. But to keep that kind of form going throughout the season, you know, as obviously, I mean, Kevin Musikantu was their coach, you know, even the fact that he had been announced to go to UCT and, you know, they thought it would rustle, you know, sort of rustle their feathers a little bit, but they just showed, you know, that good form and they're doing something right there because they're having drops from last year to now be sort of back up again this year is they've really done well, you know. I mean, look at Villages, the same team. False Bay and Villages were two teams to drop, and Villages are now struggling at the bottom of the table, whereas False Bay are sitting at the top. So they're definitely doing something right, and I think next year they'll be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I think UWC are the guys that will probably be the most up. Even I know Primrose were looking for a better season, but maybe with their side shows, Primrose were going to start picking up problems. It clearly does have an impact on the log, Mr. H.
always will have that kind of impact. If players or officials are busy with other things,
Yeah.
instead of just concentrating on the game at hand, then you always find yourself, the wheels come off.
And Jerome, the team in Super League B that will be most disappointed must be certainly UWC. Peter de Villiers would have expected better from his side after coming out of the Varsity Cup and then, coming into Super League B. I know they might have been a bit tired, but they certainly had a good, strong team, and we were both involved with UWC. He would really be disappointed in that result.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they had a few close calls in the beginning of the season, so it just shows how important it is to take your points. And I think for what they're trying to achieve next season, I mean, next season it's very important for them because it's basically qualifying to go play in the varsity cup. So I think Peter is a bit disappointed in that, but also it gave him a sense of where he needs some players and where he can find some depth, and I know he's quite busy with getting guys in. So it was also a good thing for him in a sense to know that because next year is very important for them.
Just goes to show, once again, you can be the world's best coach, but club rugby is a different thing altogether.
No, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, if you look at like Kevin Foote, he went to the Force, and at that time UCT was down, and he got an offer to go to the Force, and basically Samangi came and he left them, and they out of nowhere was also a force in the Super A. So it's all about the squad, and it's all about how you manage the players. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from my perspective, if you're a coach that is playing with money, then that makes you a good agent. If you've got a lot of money, it doesn't make you a good coach. So our ranking system, which we were doing beginning of the year with the strike rate, I think that goes down pretty well still. Is that it goes to show there's the evidence is on the cards now. You can be the world's best coach, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for you at club level. Because at club level, you've got to think about all sorts of other things, transport and food. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, yeah. I happened to visit the Belleville Rugby Club at their presentation last week. And they, again, I said to them, players and the supporters, they think it's easy to come to the rugby on a Saturday. To make sure that there is rugby on a Saturday, that's the most difficult part.
Yeah.
The administrators must run around and they must fall over their feet to get things organized, and one must really take our hats off for the administrators. If you look at all the matches that were played, I know perhaps in the lower divisions 1 or 2 were not played, but if you look at the fixtures and the numbers of matches played, you see it's a complete picture. It's not this one only played 4 games or this one only. They all played 18 or they were all involved.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see it like that. And but yeah, to keep the club and everybody going, it's a major achievement.
Yeah, and as a professional coach, that's all done for you. Everything's laid out. You just have to worry about coaching the players, and you have to hold the whistle. It's not really that difficult to coach rugby.
And you have
no, it's not that difficult, but JP, you never get a good coach. You always get a good team.
Yeah.
If a team win, then it's the team. The team loses a coach, so the coach will always be the bad guy, unfortunately.
So who would you say is the best coach in the world right now? Graham Henry?
Okay, obviously he's the world champ.
Okay, so Graham Henry at the moment.
So
he's
at the moment
he's the current title holder. Okay, let me ask you, how do you think Graham Henry would do if he was coaching Whistling Wheels?
It depends on how much petrol money is there. The clubs that give petrol money, it's always the clubs that perform.
Well then he can go coach Solarians and he'll get a lot of petrol money. Anyway, in Division 1, the team that stood out for me this year was Violets. Of course, Milnerton in Premier League B, Ishmael Dolly and A.D. Jacobs doing a fantastic job there. The team that stood out for me in Division 1 was Violets. They did a great job. We were, of course, at Violets when they played against Humberdeers. It was a derby match. They made 4 times more in the gate taking than they ever made in the history of any matches. And I think once again, Mr. H, going back to the administrative stuff, Nadir Isaacs and Riaz Khan, when you have your administrative side, Fatima Ali, when you have your administrators sorted out behind the team, the coach can get on with the coaching.
Yeah, and then things can happen, you know. If you are then not successful, I mean, you can't blame it on the administrators. If you take the other side, for instance, Elsie's River, their administrators also, you know, they make sure everything is in place. But somewhere along the line, things are not going right on the field.
Well, but I mean, I go firmly, you know, and we also had Anton Mulman, and we were talking about club culture. Villages is doing it now. They've learned that it's more about creating club culture than it is worrying about money. Certainly, you know, a lot of people are moving in that direction of playing club culture is what's going to help you create depth, because you're going to have more fun, you're going to have more people from the community, and when you have that, your club should be doing better because you've got more players to pick from. The more players you've got to pick from, the better you're going to do, Morgs.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously, you know, the more players, and obviously it's sort of a sport for choice. I mean, it's like you know, in Western Province now, with the emerging team, you know, it's sport for choice. There's so many players that are coming through. The cream of the crop will rise to the top, and you'll definitely have a good team, you know. And I don't know why you're laughing, but you know, so that's kind of the theory, you know. And then obviously, the more vibe you create, the more of a gears, the more of an atmosphere you create. Like the likes of Elsie's River next year will definitely be doing well, only because everybody has seen now. We've showcased how much talent there is out there and how much gears they create around the game. Every player. The next club that I'd love to go to will be Elsie's River because of the atmosphere they create there.
Speaking about the emerging team, Jerome, you're involved with the emerging team right now, right?
Yeah, JP, I'm helping them. They've got their coaches there, so yeah, I'm helping them.
Who is coaching the emerging team?
Lionel Langenhoven and Kevin Music.
Still Lionel and still Kevin. Okay, and how's the emerging team doing?
No, JP, obviously they won their competition in Saldanha. And they've got a game this weekend against the Sharks in Durban. So yeah, and we had a good camp this week.
Yeah.
Weekend.
Anything special about this camp that we should know about?
Yeah, JP, there's a couple of changes in the team due to injuries.
Yeah.
And
due to injuries.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So. But like I said, we had a good camp this weekend.
Let me just, for the sake of the audience watching us right now, the reason that Jerome Parvater and Morgan Newman are chuckling like two schoolboys in the corner here is because Morgan Newman is making a re-emergence. So you were an emerging Springbok at this one stage. Now you're an emerging Western Province amateur player, Morgs. You giving it horns there?
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've been called up to the side. I've been surrounded by a bunch of unbelievable rugby players, and I'm learning every day while I'm there. So it's good to be there.
Do you go there feeling it's like a sense of duty for Western Province that you've got to go do it?
No, not at all. I think it's a privilege to pull on the blue and white hoops, and no matter what level it's at. So yeah, it's a privilege for me to be there, and I'll be giving it 100%.
Strand Pioneers in Division 3, well done to them. And then a Khayelitsha in Division 4. Lower Paarl in the Paarl region doing very well. And in the Simonsburg region, of course, Lamotte walking away with the honours there. Mr. H, this is the first year that we've had the Farm League back in the mix. Lamotte, and I mean, it's not really so much about winning this league, although it's probably a sense of pride for them as well. But a successful season for farm teams.
And one was really, again, you must take your hat off to those guys that also, on their own, try to keep that going. Amongst themselves, they have a little committee, and they, make sure that the matches take place. They make sure that all the results are sent in, and it's quite unbelievable because a year or two ago they were just playing, 1 week, and next week they won't play, the following week. So now they're playing regular rugby every Saturday, and it's good for them to be there.
Talking about regular rugby, there is so much rugby coming up right now. In fact, we've got more rugby requests right now than we have had in absolute ages. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we're going to start looking at some of the events that's coming up over the next couple of weeks. There's sevens. There's the Villagers Sevens. That's going to be an enormous one. I know that many people are starting to sign up to go and play in this Villagers Sevens. It looks like these these competitions are popping up, and if you like to keep the rugby gees alive, go and enter the Villagers Sevens. I think what's the date there, Morgs, of the Villagers Sevens?
The Villagers, it's the 19th of October, and yeah, there's quite a few teams already entered. I mean, Stellenbosch, I see Stellenbosch are sending a team. The Western Province team are going to be playing in there. False Bay are going to be playing. So, no, I think there's going to be some serious competition there. So, you know, for guys wanting to keep fit during the sort of off season, it's a good place to start.
Villagers Sevens, that's one of the competitions, and then a bunch of others. Of course, this weekend we're out at Elsie's, where it's the Tennis and Near Rugby Day, but we'll tell you guys more about that after the break. Welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Remember, as of next week, we are on DSTV. The exact time still to be announced. There is a possibility that the show might flight only at 6:30, but we are, at the moment, trying to make sure that the show does stay on at 9 o'clock. But so, if with any luck, we'll be on DSTV by next week. But at this time, we'll just have to wait and see what technically exactly what's happening. Some of the events that's coming up, let's take a look at this weekend. It is the Tennis Lanier Rugby Day at Avonwood. We've been talking about this now for a couple of days. Get down to Avonwood. We know the Western Province is playing against the Lions and Newlands, but there is absolutely no excuse to go to both games. If you're not going to Newlands, then get down to the Tennis Lanier Rugby Day. It's this Saturday, the 5th of October. You can see it on your screen right now. Saturday, 5th of October, Avonwood Park, Elsie's Raffield. Get down there. It is for an excellent cause. For more information there, you can, of course, contact Abraham Fredericks on 082 760 4164, 082 760 4164, or you can email him, abraham.fredericks at capetowntv, at least capetown.gov.za. And then Caledonian Roses on Sunday the 6th, that's this coming weekend on Sunday at City Park Sports Stadium. Entrance free. They call it a Rag Rugby Day. Caledonian Roses up against Silvertree. And then that's at City Park Stadium ground. Entrance under 13s are free. Age between 14 and 19 is only R5. Adults £10, and there's inside parking at a price of £10. Now, of course, the other event that we were talking about earlier on was the Villagers Sevens, and let's look there at how you can enter into the Sevens. This on the 19th of October. Cost per team is only £1,000. Cape Rugby TV will be there to cover the Super Sevens at Villagers on the 19th of October. Team entry for 12 players. That's, of course, for just $1,000. Each player receives a goodie bag, a Powerade, a Coca-Cola throughout the day. And, of course, the day's procedures start at 10 o'clock. They finish off at 9:30 p.m., and I'm sure they're going to have a lot of party after that. Prize giving straight after the final at 9:30, and, of course, an after party in the clubhouse. But before we talk more about that, Mr. H, I just got to ask you, I mean, last week there was also a rag match. I think it was Young Stars against, who was playing this? Anyway, who is the original rag rugby team?
I think the Kelly Silver Trees.
So this one on Saturday?
Yeah.
So why do other teams call themselves rag rugby? Is it just it's a term? I mean, I know that in the UK there's lots of rag style rugby tournaments. It doesn't belong to any specific team.
No, I don't think so.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I think they just use it.
Yeah. All right, folks. A lot of exciting stuff. Jerome, if we just go back to the emerging team, a lot of practice has been happening now. We know that Ishmael's been traveling with the Dizers. He told us about that. It didn't go their way. What is the schedule now for the emerging team, formerly known as the amateur team? Where do the guys go from here?
Yeah, JP, they've still got 2 more games to play. This Saturday they play against the Sharks in Durban. The Sharks team won their section, so we play against them on Saturday, and then on the 19th, the sort of final game against the Bulls at Newlands. It's one of the curtain raisers to the semi-finals province. So that's the 2 games that the emerging team still have to play. And yeah, we just had a fantastic weekend camp at the Stellenbosch Institute. The guys arrived on Friday and they left on Sunday, and just a rugby camp, which was very good.
Morgs, I know we were making a bit of fun of you. You know, you're getting that opportunity now to go and play for the emerging team.
Did they remove the age?
The age restriction. Yeah, no, I think they did. We're still in the mix, Mr. H.
Yeah.
Morgs, you're playing for the emerging team now. What's it like in terms of all different guys from? I mean, you played against half of the guys. This is kind of what I'm getting at. What's the team like? Because I know that last year Denzel, I think, was the captain. Denzel Apollos, Denzel Riddles. What's the vibe like amongst the guys who during the season competed against each other, and now all of a sudden you're on the same squad?
Yeah, look, I mean, I arrived there on Friday for the first time. You know, obviously these guys had played in the tournament before, and the centre that was there got injured, so that's why I got called up. And when I arrived, I mean, I walked into.
Sorry, hang on, you got called up because someone got injured.
Yeah, the centre that was there before got
Who is he?
broke his ankle.
Ethan Kunrat from
Ethan-
Belleville.
Is he much better than Morgan? No, not really. You don't need to answer that question. Okay, well, it's great to take an opportunity like that. Doors do open.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, yeah, so, you know, in Afrikaans they say, een man se dood is die ander man se brood. So, yeah, look, I'll take my opportunity, but I walked into...
That's the first time I've heard him speak Afrikaans on the show.
Yeah, I'm pretty bilingual. Thankfully, I don't try like you always do, James, but... no, but look, I mean, I walked into there and I really walked into a family. I mean, these guys have been together for a while before, and they've been training for a while, and, you know, there's always a lot of, you know, off the field, there's always a lot of chirp about this club beating this club and playing against this one, and this one gave this one sort of, you know, flack during the game. But now, I mean, the guys are settled and they you know, a big family, and they're looking forward to the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever it is.
Tell us about the facilities at Stellenbosch, and I know you guys go out there to practice quite a lot. It's like almost like a hotel with. I mean, we've seen the videos before, but maybe from your perspective of training there. I mean, Paulie, I know Paul Delport with the Sevens, they pretty much live there.
Yeah. No, look, I mean, it's an unbelievable setup. I don't think you go anywhere in the world to find a setup like that, especially when it comes to, you know, to rugby facilities. I mean, the weather conditions weren't always the greatest, but it didn't bother us because we trained inside under a dome. It's pretty much a full field, so you could do everything. We did collision work inside the dome, and then we only went outside on the Saturday really to finish off our structure. So. I mean, and in the gym, you know, there's a gym where you can do all your explosive work. There's sort of a cardio section where you can do upstairs, where you can do all your cardio. So there's a pool where you could do recovery. So, I mean, it's the setup there is unbelievable, and I don't see why any player that leaves that setup, you know, isn't an elite, unbelievable athlete just leaving that setup. So,
Jerome, you've had quite a lot of athletes actually come through the ranks from the Institute.
Yeah, JP, definitely. And as Morgan said, it's a great facility. And I also think one thing that's good for club rugby players to go and see and experience that facility and just see what it's like to almost live like a professional player. And I mean, that's always the idea of us at Province to the club players, to give them that sort of exposure. And I must say thank you to a lot of people here involved in making this happen. I mean, Mr. H from his side, helping us to get supplements through you that we can give to the guys. And Danny put a lot of work in terms of getting us that facility there. And also Mr. Wakefield, the president, for everything that they've done. I mean, where we started at 3 years ago with this project and where we are now, I think no one can complain. And I think the guys are all positive. We don't have to beg guys to come and play in this team anymore, because the guys see there's a future. If you look at Taz Ruzani, who's playing Currie Cup rugby now, there's a lot of other guys. Paul Monk played in this team. He's played Super Rugby and he played there. So there's a lot of opportunity for club guys. And I must say, I think at Western Province, I can almost say we're the only province that do this for club rugby players. Yeah.
No, that is fantastic. Talking about club rugby players, women's rugby is doing really well in Western Province rugby. Now, of course, on Saturday and Sunday at Langa, it was there was a festival of women's rugby, and we managed to catch up with some of the ladies there and some of the administrators on the side of the field. And take close note, folks, for the first time ever in the history of all our radio and internet and TV, we finally managed to get Faisal Felton on camera. Check it out.
Fantastic enjoying myself. I think I'm getting too old for this quick sports. The ladies are spraying myself with standstill, but it's fantastic. I'm enjoying myself.
I'm here, head of security for the tournament, making sure that all the touch lines and everything is clear.
Got 12 club teams playing and 6 under 16 sides that's played. We've got 7 teams that's from outside of Cape Town. They from PE, East London, Middleburg, and then we've got 5 of the local teams that's playing. It's been after the second day. Started on Saturday, yesterday, and today is obviously the final stage. Going strong, looking good. Lots of youngsters, lots of youth. I think coming through in that sense. And, I think it's promising for future of women's rugby.
The last 2 days were so fantastic when we doing the opening games, so everybody was in contest. But today, the 2 teams, even to them, 1 team must win now to take the cup.
Fantastic day of rugby there at Langa on the Saturday and the Sunday, and teams from all over the country taking part. Mr. H, you were there. Good day.
Yeah, I was there on Saturday, you know, just to see how things started off. But it's a brilliant idea, and thanks to Alfred and Faisal and all those guys, you know, for putting a good thing together. And they have, you know, they have the buy-in of the city of Cape Town, SA Rugby and all those people, so it makes it worth it.
I'll tell you something, I was absolutely blown away. Women's rugby is really, that I think is one of the places of opportunity, especially in the townships. The young black girls are loving club rugby.
Yeah, well, if you just look at how things have, you know, developed over the last 2 years in women's rugby.
Yeah.
I mean, those girls that started 2 years ago out of Bloekombosch, the Noon and those places, 10 of them went to England in this year.
It's kind of the inverse of opportunity in terms of how things have grown. You know, in the past, I know we don't want to talk too much politics, but in the past it was always the kind of momentum would come from what was publicized as in the white space, and now we're seeing black and colored rugby really getting the attention that it deserves. And I mean, from a health point of view, from a fitness point of view, from a community point of view, those clubs are really, really very active, and they just want to do more and more and more. They just need sponsors.
Yeah, and you know what? They need the support of the males in the club. We found in the last few years, when we make a check out to a club for the women's section, it never goes to the women's section. They just use it for themselves.
No, that's not acceptable.
But now we've turned that around.
Yeah.
The money goes directly to those ladies.
Because you need it. You need. I mean, from what it looks like, we need dedicated women administrators for women's rugby. Surely.
Yeah.
Jerome, Semi-Sam?
Yeah, definitely, JP. And I think they mustn't be surprised one day if we see a few of that ladies play in the club with the men.
You think so?
There's a few tough ladies out there. I watched the Western Province border game at Bellville South 3 weeks ago, and there's amazing people there playing rugby there. There's skills. I mean, they're not far behind some of the boys playing.
We're going to see some of the women come through and maybe even play with the men.
I won't be surprised, eh?
Maybe even playing in the emerging Western Province team.
I won't go that far, Jay.
You won't go that far. Because I believe there's a gap at centre there. All right, then, of course, talking about women administrators, Lillian Fredericks is one of the selectors at Western Province Rugby who has a keen eye on what the young ladies are doing in the world of rugby. Let's catch up now with Lillian Fredericks. She's a stalwart of rugby in Western Province, and everybody knows her. It was so great to catch up with her on camera.
Die keerder is daar. Ons gaan uit naar die velden toe waar die, soos vandag, waar ons die gaan kyk hoe die kinders rugby speel. Ons gaan eintlik kyk na die talentvolle kinders. en dan word hulle opgebring na die proewe toe en vanaf die proewe word hulle weer gekies en dan speel hulle in 'n elite squad waar hulle teen die verlede jaar se WP speel en dan bring ons op die 23 vir die finale groepe. Die onder 16 groep is tussen die ouderdom van 13 en 16 jaar oud en dan staan die onder 18 spelers van tussen 16 en 18 jaar oud. En dan kom het by die seniors waar dit normaalweg is voor 18 tot na op 25, 26. Gedurende die jaar soos tye soos nou waar kom ons almal bymekaar, al die kerders kom bymekaar en dan moet ons die speler kies vanaf die veld, op die veld gedissiplineerde kinders wat gemotiveer is, wat die magtiging en die krag het om rugby te speel, wat committed met een en anders en wat belangrik is, die kommunikasie tussen die spelers is baie van belang.
Lillian Fredericks, very well known at Western Province Rugby. She's been in the mix a while, Mr. H.
Yeah, your husband is Abraham Frederick,
Yeah.
who's in charge at Northerns.
Yeah.
His son played, I think he's now is in the emerging team. So they you know, the passions, that whole family, they're all about rugby.
Jerome is in the emerging team. Tell us a little bit more about the emerging team, where he's playing now, Lillian's son.
Yeah, Lillian's son is a fly-off at the emerging team. And I mean, Mr. H, they live at the rugby stadium at Northern's Avenue Park. They live there.
Yeah.
So they basically eat, sleep in rugby. And Lillian, Lillian, since I've played juniors, Lillian was involved with rugby. So she really knows the rugby. There's one woman that really knows the rugby.
And they make an enormous effort, both Abraham and Lillian, to make sure that rugby keeps ticking, not just in Western Province, but also at Avonwood.
Abraham, of course, is a very good coach.
Mr. H, did you coach? Did you coach Abraham?
Under 9 boy.
Under 9.
Yes, he played at the Dana Primary,
And
where I was involved.
You were his coach.
So he is a very good coach.
Right. See, there is opportunity still for us to get into the emerging team. You know, we're going to have the under 9 emerging Western Province team.
I'm very proud of him, especially because, you know, tough upbringing, Lotus River, and then he left, he went to Elsie's River. And I mean, he really took it upon himself to make something of his life.
And you know something? One of the reasons why we're going to Northern's Avonwood this weekend is because Abraham himself has, and I'd like to go back to that slide, folks, just to show you for a second what that slide is in a sec. But he made the effort to get hold of me on Facebook. He went to fetch me at Elsie's. He phoned me, and he sent in the poster of the big day. They've organized the day, they've got sponsors and everything like that. And that is when TV comes to you, when you have an administrator who makes the effort. We've had clubs say to us, well, you know, will you come to us, will you come to us? Well, we'd like to, but now we go to clubs who make the effort. And I think when you have an administrator like that, you're on a winning streak, because now what's going to happen is Northern's Avonwood is going to have a packed house, they're going to have a lot of entertainment, and if we have entertainment like that, then the community comes to see what's going on. If the community comes to see what's going on, they might sign up and play rugby next year. Jerome, that's kind of what you want, huh?
Yeah, it's good. And I mean, he also played with Tinners at Northern's, and I mean, they basically got their whole team together playing this weekend.
Well, that's Northern's legends.
The legends, yeah. So that's all the guys that played with Tinners. So I think it's a great gesture of Abraham doing that. And I mean, all the funds, all the money is going towards Tinners, which he really need at this time. So I think the people out there, a lot of people can still go. That's why the game is early. Can still go to Newlands.
Yeah.
The games are early, so they can still go and enjoy themselves there.
It's going to be lekker. It's going to be great fun. All right, let's quickly have a look at that poster. Let me just show you one more time. These are 2 posters that got sent in there. You see at the Tinnisinea Rugby Day on Saturday, the 5th of October, and then, of course, the Callies versus Silver Tree Rag on a Sunday. So that's how you get yourself on TV. So well done to Abraham and well done to Lillian. And of course, we managed to catch up with Sammy Malazzi. Sammy Malazzi was at Lunga over the weekend. Now, Sammy is involved with development and women's rugby at Western Province Rugby. A man behind the scenes, which a lot of people don't really always know about who the guys are that work so hard behind the scenes. And during the year, Sammy is always doing clinics. He's always doing little coaching courses. So let's catch up with Sammy Malazzi at Lunga.
started on Saturday, where we're trying to make this tournament to market women's rugby and to bring all cultures together. We really hope that we can go with the tournament very far, because we want to market women's rugby and make it strong in Western Cape. Definitely they have a lot of fun, because we have a lot of supporters coming for over the 2 days. It was building up because we're playing the finals today. 12 teams taking part, with 6 under 16 school girls and then 2 under 18 school girls teams as well. It's very exciting because you see parents really getting very into the game and really nervous of how their youngsters or how the kids is playing. Western Province role is just to oversee the tournament and make sure everything is run by the clubs itself, the women's clubs. We empower them to give them the chance to run the whole tournament. We had a week training with youngsters, high performance, life skills, and then we started off with festivals and school leagues, where we bring all the schools together on one venue, and they play a game amongst each other at least twice in a month in different regions to market women's rugby. We had our under 16 national tournament and under 18 national tournament this year, of which Western Province won the under 16 and under 18 Western national tournaments. And our senior team played in the final against Border. Unfortunately they lost, but women's rugby in Western Province really great.
There you have it. Women's rugby in Western Province really growing. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. Right, folks? One of the things we've asked the coaches and the administrators out there is please send us your logos. So if you're a coach and you're currently watching the show, we already have managed to get coaches' names and the managers' names of the first team, the second team, for the teams that have contributed. And we're starting to get messages in from the coaches of who they thought would be the standout player. We'll show that to you next week. But we are collecting names from the coaches of who they thought, what was their best memory, and also what they thought was who they thought was their standout player. So if you get these emails, please respond. If you don't respond, we quite simply don't have any content to put you on the show. So as the administrators go there, please make sure that you contribute to the information process. And we've only received about 7 or 8 logos from the clubs, all right, your badges. We need those badges, so when we do the logs matchup and the fixture matchup, we want to be able to put your badges either on the show or on the corner of the screen around here somewhere. Okay, you'll have like a corner logo somewhere over here. It's like a square. I don't know. How do you do a square in a verse? Something like that? That's not bad. Okay, I'm pointing my own head. Anyway, so we want to get all of your content on TV. So please send in your logos, your club logos. If the administrator of your club hasn't done it, why don't you just do it for us, all right? If it hasn't been digitized, then even take a photograph of the logo and then just send us the nice high-quality logo. If you can pop that on Facebook, and then we'll put your club's logo on the show with us when we do those matchups and so on, because next year is going to be a monster. All right, Evox Advanced Nutrition is, of course, the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby. There you see it behind me now. If you're a club rugby player, then off-season training, that's the most important time. Now is when you have to start hitting the gym. Now is when you have to start putting on the weight. Jerome?
Yeah, definitely, JP. I mean, a lot of clubs are done, and I mean, if you take your 3 weeks break, then now it's an important time. I mean, it's building phase again. Use your supplements, go to the gym, eat well, sleep well, and then come next year when you start with your running stuff, you inform.
Off-season training, folks. There you go. Off-season training. If you don't put on the muscle in the off-season, when by the time come the time for practice, and remember, it's not that far away. Before you know, it's on you again. Off-season training is when you have to put on the muscle. Otherwise, come training time, pre-season, and once you hit the straps, you start losing the muscle. It's very hard to put on muscle mass while you're in the middle of the season. So Evox Advanced Nutrition this week is giving away the Synergy Whey Protein, which is, of course, the favorite whey protein of the DHL Stormers and DHL Western Province Rugby team, as well as the emerging team, the Dizers, the Institute. This is the protein that the players use, this and a 5XL and a Mega Grow to put the muscle on. Now, this week, we're giving away, of course, the Synergy Whey Protein together with the tray. There's a water bottle that would go in the tray. And then, of course, for you, a Shaker 600. Remember, the tray must go to a club. You get to keep the shaker, and the water bottles that comes with the tray goes to a club of your choice. Now, here's the thing. This week, if you want to win the Synergy Whey Protein, 33280, then you see it on the screen right now, SMS your name and answer to 33280, okay? So, the official sports nutrition supplier, the Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers, and tell us the favorite product. Right, folks, but before we show you who last week's winner was, this week, we are going to give 5 sets of double tickets to the Western Province Rugby match against the Lions at Newlands. So 5 sets of double tickets if you go for this. Our first winner wins the hamper, and the other 4 runners-up are going to win a set of double tickets. So we're giving away 5 sets of double tickets courtesy of Evox Advanced Nutrition for you to go and watch Western Province, the DHL Western Province side playing in the Currie Cup against the Lions at Newlands. So if you want to win for yourself that set of double tickets, you've got to try and win the Synergy Hamper. 33280. Just tell us who is the official sports nutrition supplier to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. You can win yourself a set of double tickets, and the 4 runner-ups will win for themselves also a set of double tickets to go and watch Western Province take on the Lions at Newlands on Saturday. Kickoff at 2 p.m. Last week's winner of the Evox competition, Jean-Jacques Lewis. Congratulations, Jean-Jacques. You win for yourself that Synergy Whey Protein Hamper. And of course, I'm sure that you're going to be able to use that to make sure that you put in as much muscle mass as possible. We'll take an ad break, and when we come back, we'll start taking a look at the Western Province Rugby Sevens tournament, as well as the Currie Cup, and a little bit later in the show, we'll wrap it up with the leisure hotels. All that and more in a sec. Remember, folks, Cape Rugby TV will soon be on DSTV on a Wednesday night. We just have to still finalize the time. It might be at 6:30. It might be, hopefully, it'll continue to stay at 9 p.m. If not, you can always record it, and it'll be fantastic to have everybody else around the country watching Cape Rugby TV. Then you, as a club rugby player or as a coach, are going to be even more famous than you were in Cape Town. You're going to be famous nationally. All right, isn't that just absolutely fantastic? Right, we did tell you that we would catch up with the Club Rugby Sevens, West Province Club Rugby Sevens, coming up over the next 4 weeks. It's going to be quite an intense tournament, and lots of clubs from all around Western Province are taking part in the tournament. Let's take a look at the groups now. The groups that are playing there: Stellenbosch, Belleville, UWC, Hanson Arts, St. George's, Silverleaf, Rocklands, and Peninsula. In fact, I'm not going to go through all the groups, but you can see that they are divided into 4 different groups. The first fixture is this Friday, the 4th of October, Helderberg field as well as the B field. This is, of course, for the first Group 1 and Group 2. And then in the second group, the other fixtures will continue to play through. So a number of fixtures happening this Friday, all right, the 4th of October at Helderberg. So if you want to start seeing it, this is in the evening, folks. On a Friday evening, the Sevens, the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens tournament is taking place. And then don't forget the Villagers Sevens, the Super Sevens, on the 19th of October at Villagers. And if you want to get your Sevens rugby team in there, Cape Rugby TV will be at the Super Sevens at Villagers on the 19th of October to film the various teams that are playing in the Super Sevens. So quite a lot of exciting rugby still coming up during the course of the year. Now, Currie Cup has been rather interesting of late, and one of the big things that I loved over the weekend was the fact that Skalk Burger made his return. It was only 20 minutes, but still, you could see that the opposing team really thought, oh, here comes Skalk. Jerome, you watched the game. Could you see that the other team thought, okay, now we've got to sacrifice 6 guys for 1 guy?
Yeah, as soon as Skalk went on, he was involved there in a sort of in a breakdown. He was pulling someone. So I saw the guy, but he saw Skalk, so he thought, no, rather just leave it. And I must say, I think he actually done well. You can just see the experience. I mean, he didn't take contact. He just passed. He was a lot more in the center and things like that. But that's experience, just to get back into the mix. But I think from this week onwards, he will make a step up.
But you know, I was watching Facebook or Twitter or something, and someone criticized Skalk for not taking contact, and I thought, okay, you know, what an absolute moron making couch comments. But the fact is, even at that stage of the game, if he was running the ball up, it would have been a wrong thing to do, because we needed to spread the ball to our back line at the time anyway. So I'm sure he wasn't holding back from contact, because I'm pretty sure he was like just list. He was about to flatten anything in his way. He's like jumping out of his skin at the moment. We saw him at HPC. He's so amped to play. It was not only not taking contact, but it was also the smart thing to do. He just had to get behind the maul, and make sure that the ball was going to the back line.
Yeah, definitely, JP. And at that time, it was a time that we needed that bonus point, which was very important for us. So, yeah, like I said, it's experience. And, I mean, he knew he'd just get back into the mix. So, he's not going to take unnecessary contact, which is good.
Yeah, no, so good stuff there for Skalk. Nice to see him back in the park. And then, of course, the results over the weekend, the Currie Cup. Going down the Bulls, 52 points to 10. As pretty much expected, the Sharks beating the Lions there. I think went a little bit against the grain, 31-25. And then the Cheetahs going down to Western Province, 27-29. Jerome, but Western Province still consistent. It's working for them. People will criticize here and there, but still we're having a pretty good season.
Yeah, no, still, I mean, we haven't lost a game this season.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Alistair was quite clever at the right time to put Dimitri in. To do that drop goal. So yeah, I think still, but what they've done this year, at least, unfortunately, we haven't got our bonus points as we think we're going to get. But they've scored a couple of brilliant tries. I mean, the try that Cheslin Colby scored against the Cheetahs was great. Was textbook stuff.
Talking about bonus points, I think the Springboks will be extremely disappointed with the fact that they didn't get their bonus point against Australia. And but the fact is, though, we came away with a 20-point win against Australia. I mean, Morgs, I think I saw one of your tweets, Morgan 12 Newman, which is of course your Twitter handle, saying, you know, when are we going to actually get a grip on life? A win over Australia, and we're unhappy with it.
Yeah, look, I had to I was falling asleep, and I thought I had to just voice my opinion. But, you know, they win by 20 points, and people start complaining that they didn't get a bonus point, and they didn't do this and didn't do that. They lose by 5, and everyone's criticizing they didn't do this. So when are they ever going to be happy? Do you know what I mean? I mean, you beat Australia by 20 points at Newlands in front of a packed house. Yeah. Let's go and celebrate the win, and we worry about New Zealand on Monday, you know? As soon as the social media, hit, everybody just sort of thought, well, here we go, let's nail them for not getting a bonus point. Yeah. They're still in contention to win the championship, to win the rugby championship. Give the Oaks some credit and let them enjoy themselves.
And then of course, Mr. H, the flip side happened is that a lot of people actually thought that Argentina was going to stop New Zealand from getting a bonus point. Yeah. But it didn't go that way. But and New Zealand got the bonus point.
I mean, this last minute.
And but still, you don't underestimate New Zealand and start thinking you're going to just walk away with competitions.
I watched that game early hours of the morning.
Yeah.
And, hoping that Argentina would do something that was really not going to happen.
Yeah.
But they were in the game all the time. But I knew that New Zealand, when they must get a bonus point, they get the bonus point.
Yeah.
They play for it.
You just don't walk around saying, well, we're going to win with a bonus point on the one side with 4 tries against Australia. New Zealand's not going to win a bonus point, and we just have to then go and play. It's not going to be that easy. No. New Zealand always are going to have a trick up the sleeve, and they really have. But it's going to be a challenge this weekend. I think this is what we've all been waiting for, to see how it goes, and I think it's going to be a monster.
But it's great for rugby, to have a situation where, whoever wins and whatever happens there, it's going to be a great effect on what. But normally you would find the thing is the run its course already when it comes to the last game.
Yeah.
Here we have a chance, an opportunity to.
Well, let's just hope that we don't have any more TMO decisions, because clearly this TMO scenario is not working, and using all this technology in rugby is just not working. And quite frankly, I believe that our senior refs are actually good enough to make some decisions without having to refer all these things to the TMO. And according to the referees out there, I'm not the only one that thinks that. Let's look at some of the Currie Cup fixtures coming up over the weekend, and then, of course, we'll talk about the Springboks in a sec. The Bulls up against the Sharks in Pretoria on Friday. Griffos are up against the Cheetahs in Kimberley, and then Western Province take on the Lions at 2 o'clock at Newlands. Remember, you can win for yourself a set of double tickets if you enter the Evox competition. A set of double tickets. We're giving away 5 sets of double tickets to go and watch Western Province take on the Lions at Newlands, 2 p.m. on Saturday. Enter this competition, 33280. Send the word EVOX, which is, of course, the official sports nutrition supplier. You win this as the winner, and the next 4 runners-up will also win for themselves a set of double tickets. So there's one hamper going with a set of double tickets, and of course 4 more sets of double tickets to go watch Newlands, Western Province take on the Lions at Newlands. It's going to be an incredible match. Let's quickly do some Super Brew predictions. The Bulls against the Sharks, Morgs.
That's going to be, that's a tough one.
This is a one-day match.
Okay, Bulls 3.
Jerome.
I hope the Bulls can beat the Sharks because it would make us easy our campaign to end top. But I think the Sharks are going to be too strong.
Can
Sharks
you give
by
us
4.
Thank you, Sharks by 4, Mr. H.
Bulls 10.
Bulls by 10. I'm going to go. I'm going to go with the Bulls by 9. Morgs, Griquas and the Cheetahs.
Cheetahs 15.
Jerome.
Cheetahs 19.
Mr. H.
Cheetahs 10.
Cheetahs by 10. I'm going to go with the Cheetahs by 17. Western Province take on the Lions at Newlands. Remember, as I said, 33280. SMS the word EVOX. Win yourself a hamper and a set of double tickets. Go watch the match. And then there's 4 more sets of double tickets up for the grabs for the 4 runners up behind the winner. Morgs, Western Province Lions.
Western Province 12.
Jerome.
Western Province 14.
Mr. H.
Western Province 20.
Western Province 20. I'm going to go with Western Province by 15. I think that is going to be a tough match, but I do think that Western Province can definitely take them. Last question, Jerome. Schalk Burger, can he get back into the Springbok team?
I think he's aiming to get back in end of year tour.
End of year tour.
Yeah.
So Hanneke will pick him if he's playing good rugby?
Definitely.
Anyone that can stand in Scala's way?
No, I think it's going to be tough, but I think Kolisi will stay there, but the one guy will fall out.
There we go, folks. Remember, this Saturday we are at Avonwood, where, of course, it is the Tennis Lanier Rugby Day. Come and join us on Saturday at Avonwood in Elsie's Sophia. Morgan Newman, have a fantastic rugby weekend. I know that you'll be with the emerging Western Province team. Best of luck.
Yeah, thank you very much. We've been in Durban, so unfortunately not in Cape Town to enjoy the weather, but in Durban, and I'll give it horns.
And Jerome, thanks for joining me. I'm glad to have you back from Kenya.
Yeah, thanks, JP. It's nice to be back and alive.
Nice to, and talking about still staying alive, Mr. H, nice to have you here, and we'll see
Still
you again. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place.
Thanks, JP.
There we go, folks. Remember, we will be on DSTV shortly. Tell your friends, tell your family, especially those outside of Cape Town. We look forward to seeing you next week, same time, same place, as well as at Elsie's on Saturday. So be there with bells on. Loving club rugby. Remember, Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. See you next week. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.